Hey guys, it's Miss Perenboom again. Alright, we are on day 2 of Learning Target 6B, and we are continuing to write and solve proportions. Alright, so let's look at this first example here. You're going to order pizza for a birthday party and decide to order 2 pepperoni pizzas for every 3 cheese pizzas. How many cheese pizzas were ordered if you bought a total of 20 pizzas? Okay, so there's a lot going on in this problem, and we really need to think about the labels that we're giving to each number and make sure that we're making a comparison that makes sense. So first thing I notice is that I've got this ratio of 2 pepperoni pizzas for every 3 cheese pizzas. Okay, so that gives me the ratio 2 to 3. However, when I then look at the question that's being asked, I want to know the number of cheese pizzas. Okay, well, we've got cheese here in our ratio that I bought if I bought a total of 20 pizzas. Okay, so I've been given this piece of information about total pizzas ordered. Notice that that is not either one of those labels, right? Neither of these numbers represents a total amount of pizza. So what we need to do is we need to come up with a total number of pizzas based on this ratio of 2 to 3. So let's say I actually bought 2 pepperoni pizzas, then that means I would have bought 3 cheese pizzas, which together would have given me a total of 5 pizzas. Okay, so now I have these 3 separate numbers, right? I've got 2 pepperoni pizzas when I buy 3 cheese pizzas, giving us a total of 5 pizzas. So the question, again, is comparing cheese pizzas to total pizzas. So using that information, I'm going to pick out 3 cheese pizzas for every 5 total pizzas. So notice, I didn't need to use this 2 for pepperoni pizzas. I needed it to help me get the 5, but I'm not actually going to use the 2 in the proportion that I set up. Okay, so now for our second ratio. So 3 cheese pizzas for every 5 total pizzas, and I know that I've actually bought 20 total pizzas. So that 20 is going to go in the denominator of my second ratio, and I'm finding out how many cheese pizzas were ordered, and so that means X, or my unknown, is in the numerator. Okay, so now to look for a relationship. So just like yesterday, we want to be looking for either a horizontal or vertical relationship between these quantities. So I'm going to say I know that 5 times 4 is equal to 20. So I'm going to do the same thing to the top, 3 times 4, and that's going to give me 12. So that means I would have ordered 12 cheese pizzas. And then when we think about that, that also would mean that we would have ordered then 8 pepperoni pizzas, right? And that 8 to 12 for pepperoni to cheese would still maintain that same ratio of 2 to 3. All right, let's take a look at another one. All right, 3 out of every 7 students in Mrs. Green's room are girls. How many girls are there in the class if there are 24 boys in the class? Okay, so again, let's kind of pick out what information we have. I know 3 out of every 7 students are girls. Okay, so that means there's 3 girls out of every 7 total. Okay, that's the information that I have. Okay, what are we being asked? We're being asked how many girls are there if there are 24 boys in the class. Well, I wasn't given any information about boys, but if we use some common sense here, I bet we can figure it out. If I have 7 total kids and 3 of them are girls, then that's going to mean that the other 4 would have to be boys, right? Because then the 3 girls plus the 4 boys gives me that total of 7. Okay, so I want to compare girls to boys, right? That's what my question is asking me to do. So I'm going to take this number 3 for the number of girls, and I'm going to take this number 4 for the number of boys, and that's the ratio that I'm going to set up. Okay, so I want my ratio to be 3 girls for every 4 boys. So then I know that there are actually 24 boys in class. So 24, that's going to be the number of boys, so that goes in the denominator of my second ratio, and X is on top. We're finding the number of girls. Okay, so again, look for a relationship that we can use. I know 4 times 6 is 24, so I'll do the same to the top, 3 times 6, and that's going to give me 18, so there would be 18 girls in Mrs. Green's classroom. Okay, so now that we've gone through 2, again, they're the same types of problems that we were doing the other day. It's just now there's like a little bit more work to do to get that initial proportion set up. So here are 2 more questions for you to answer on your own. Okay, the first one, number 3, a paint mixture calls for 3 gallons of white paint to be mixed with 1 gallon of red paint to make the shade of pink that you want for your house. So if I need a total of 32 gallons of this pink paint, how many gallons of white paint will be used? Okay, and number 4, an employee working at an electronics store earned $3,582 for working 3 months during the summer. What did the employee earn for the first 2 months? Okay, so you're gonna go ahead and pause and work on these 2 questions and get your answers written down, and we will go over these tomorrow in class. When you're done with these 2, then you have your reflection at the very end, so hit play when you're done. Okay, so finally, to wrap up, make sure that you write down one thing that you either learned or were reminded of, and then any questions that you might have. So please try to write at least one thing for each, and we will see you tomorrow back at class. Thanks for watching.